This video is about beginnings. It's about my beginning. I could make a million excuses, and I have for years, about why I should not put a camera in front of me and just start to talk, why I should not put pen to paper and just start to write. It's been excuse after excuse after excuse. Hello, world. My name is Grace Preli, and it has taken me many years to even be able to say that, I am Grace Preli and put my name with my face, my name with my work, my name with my writing, my name with me, and who I want to be. I've let creating my first video sit for 5 years, and I can't let it sit anymore. Otherwise it will go not stale but rotten. So here I am, and something I think a lot about is the allegory of the cave. The allegory of the cave is this idea that man is like in a cave and there's a fire behind him, and you just see shadows on the wall, and you think that these shadows are everything that there is, and you think that the light, the firelight, is like the light, like the sunlight, like that's the light that pervades everything. And this one man, let's say this one human, leaves the cave and goes out into the sunlight, and he's like, whoa, it's fucking bright out here. Like, and he sees the world and he sees the light, and then he realizes how dim the cave is. He realizes that the shadows cast on the wall are just shadows. There's no substance there. It's not real. It's an illusion. And he goes back into the cave, and not only is it suddenly now so dark, he cannot forget what he's seen. He cannot forget the light. He cannot forget the substance of the real world. And the people in the cave do not want to be convinced that what they are seeing is not reality. They don't want to see and understand that there's something else that exists outside of the cave, that exists outside of their current perception of what reality and of what their life story is. And so the person who goes back into the cave has a couple different options. They can, reintegrate with their cave society, and they can try as hard as possible to forget what they've seen. They can try and convince themselves back in the cave that, this is reality and this is truth, and like this is the totality of our experience. They can try really hard, but truly they will never be able to forget, and they'll never be able to close the door on the realization that they've had. And so the human who goes back into the cave, it fights this battle, and it feels fraught and torn about what to do, and often is not capable of truly explaining the magnificence of what they've seen to the other people in the cave, because what they've seen can only be realized through experience. The other people in the cave have to leave the cave and go out, and they have to see what's out there. They won't realize that. They'll get angry. They'll say, no, why are you trying to convince me that what I'm seeing on the wall isn't real? This is real. I've been looking at it my whole life. These shadows, they move and they dance, and the fire behind me, this is reality. And they won't ever believe until they have the strength to go out into the cave. Go out of the cave. And this is something that I think about a lot, because I notice that in life, we humans are always given the opportunities to learn, to grow, to make changes, and to keep stretching our version of reality, and to keep seeing what else is out there, to keep always be questing for more. And the thing is that there needs to be a base level of strength and of bravery to face what you do see when you walk out of the cave. Because once you see it, you can't go back. Once you see you cannot unsee. Once you realize, you cannot unrealize. Once you learn something, you cannot unlearn it. You can forget it. You can push it down. You can convince yourself. We humans are so good at convincing ourselves. You can convince yourself whatever you want to convince yourself. But you cannot forget it. Let's say you discover, you feel that you're unhappy in your relationship, and you've started to have this realization that you're unhappy, and you've started to have this realization of what it might take to make you happy. Maybe you have to work on your communication with your partner, or maybe you need to have some more fun, or maybe you need to leave the relationship, or maybe you need to make changes within the relationship. But once you've had this realization, it's very difficult to forget about it. Like, sure, you can tamp it down and you can push it down for the next 90 years, but are you going to be happy? Or are you going to be miserable? Are you going to sacrifice a part of yourself? Are you going to make yourself small? Are you going to dim your shine? Are you going to put the walls up? Like, this is very real. We do this every day. We do this every single day. Physically, emotionally, mentally. We walk out of the cave, and then we see, and we have our realization. And then we are at a moment of choosing. We decide, okay, I'm gonna do something with that realization. I'm gonna make the change. I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna keep going. Or we walk back into the cave and we continue on, pretending that we haven't seen what's outside of the cave. But the truth is that the light in the cave will never be as bright. Firelight will never, ever emulate the true richness of the sun. And the smell of air in the cave will never be comparable to what's outside, to the smell of the trees and the flowers and the fresh green world. And so when you really visually think about it like that, you can start to see where in your life you are in the cave and where in your life you are stepping out of the cave. I truly feel like this is what life is. Life is a whole continuous series of being given more information, of having more realizations, of learning more, of being given opportunities to grow and heal and learn and continue to step into our power as humans. And if we keep ignoring this stuff, if we keep ignoring the things that are being presented to us, if you're triggered, what is that showing you? What is that pointing out within you that needs to be addressed? What is your anger showing you? What is your sadness showing you? What is your fear showing you? Oh my gosh, it's so multifaceted. There's so many layers here. And this is something that I think about a lot in terms of the allegory of the cave. We can keep pushing it down. Me, okay, story time. My partner tells me that I don't share enough. I don't make enough connection with myself, that I talk in generalized terms, and but that I really, really need to talk about my own experience. So I will talk about my own experience. I have been sad for a very large part of my life. And only recently have I started to even look at what that sadness might be showing me. What do I need to change in my life? Like, where do I need to go with this? So for me, I've realized it, and this is, I'm just speaking for myself here. This is my experience. I have discovered that my sadness has a lot to do with covering up other emotions. So, growing up as a kid, my past, my traumas, my history, my coping mechanisms, my attachment style, whatever it is, I have gravitated towards sadness. Sadness also has a lot to do with feeling like a victim. And I have really struggled with the victim mentality in my life. I've really struggled to look at that and see the nuances in being a victim. Being a victim, it gets you a lot. It gets you sympathy and help and support, and it still allows you to keep yourself down. It literally allows you to stay in the same place as whatever caused you to be victimized in the first place. For me, my journey has been looking at my sadness and looking at the lessons that are contained there. And that takes a base level of courage and bravery to be able to look at what your world is showing you. I'm here now making this video because I have to try. I can't go back into the cave. I don't know how to film. I don't know how to edit. I am sitting in my kitchen. Is this the ideal background? I haven't brushed my hair. I haven't brushed my teeth. I'm like, but here I am because I just can no longer go back into the cave. I have to try. And so this requires courage and bravery on my part, and it requires starting. It requires making that first choice. It's not perfect. This is not going to be perfect. If you let things sit, they go stale. So don't let things sit for too long. I don't know, it's been a pleasure sharing. I don't know what comes next, but I'm Grace Prelai. And if you've watched this far and if you've tuned in at all, I just want to say thank you for giving me your time and your energy. So I hope you have a wonderful day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And I guess until next time, ciao!